Every time I finish one garden job, 3 more seem to appear. It's not some weird satanic ritual, although it looks like it at the moment. It is because I'm going to put a ring of parsnips around the base of the beans. Seems a shame to waste such a deep bed on just some beans and flowers, so I decided to add this ring of parsnips at the last minute. What do you think of the teepee? Is it going to be good? The parsnips I'm sowing are a fresh packet because they're always temperamental. DT Brown Parsnip Gladiator. My dad was telling me that one year on his allotment he diligently sowed a packet of parsnips which failed dismally to come up. So he found some in his pocket and chucked them. And those germinated perfectly fine while his beautifully prepared bed didn't. Grow, my lovelies, grow. Okay, my next job is to transplant some of these flowers that I sowed. As you can see, the roots are well through the bottom. So we've got yarrow, sea lavender and Cupid's dart here. Whoop! I just seem to have kamikaze birds here. Yeah, a blackbird just ploughed into the side of the greenhouse and then Bonnie tried to chase it while it was dazed and confused. So, you know, all hell breaks loose as usual. I'm beginning to think I've got a jinx against birds here because first the pigeon garrots itself and then the blackbird dazes itself on my windows. Lovely little plug. I might put a few of these in the orchard as well because they're really good for the trees. There is actually 2 plants. Oh, and a very long worm trying to escape there. Right, worm. Sorry. Oh gosh, you're very wriggly. Right. Sea lavender and yarrow cassis, which is a beautiful cerise pink colour. In what can only be described as typical. I've just spent the last hour watering these beds because the soil was drying out and I wanted to settle it in. And now it's spotting with rain. Doug has very kindly dropped some of his woodworking and filled up this bed, topped up this one and filled up this one. So now I need to start planting these beds up. My original plan for this bed was to put the butter beans in on this teepee here. But having watched Charles Dowding yesterday, I have discovered that that's not going to be anywhere near tall enough. So I'm going to make use of this beautiful framework that Doug's put in for us and start wiring it now. I'm going to learn from my mistakes. I'm not going to garrot any more pigeons. This bed, which I was going to put cauliflowers in, but my cauliflower plants are teeny tiny. So I may swap them around and put either red cabbage or Brussels sprouts in there. Let's go and have a look at the plants that I've got in the small greenhouse. Obviously, when I do the seedlings, I label them. When I transplant them on, I push them together and think one label will suffice for 6 pots. But then they get moved as you're watering them, or you move them to a different greenhouse, and then you discover that you've got a lot of green plants which are all claiming to be Brussels sprouts. But I don't really like Brussels sprouts, so I think some of these might actually be cabbages, whereas the red cabbage is easy to identify. I've got space for 4, so that's leaving me with 4 spares. Yeah, I might be able to put some in here later on in the season. Now then, I don't really bring you around here very often. This is the original L-shaped bed we built, because it's so close to the road, it's quite noisy around here. I did sow 3 rows of carrots, which have come up lovely. This is some more celery and 4 more celeriac went in. I'm really pleased with the shallots. They're doing brilliantly well. As are the radar onions. They're swelling beautifully. But, and this is a big but, these snowball white ones, which I've not grown before, have all started to flower. This section, however, is covered in fabulous strawberry flowers. Most of these were runners from this year. I can't believe how many flowers there are. My greenhouse seems to be decanting into the entranceway. But look at this. Isn't she beautiful? This is Miss Apple. The sun's coming back out again. This variety is called Rookie. Planting it deep and firming it in well, despite not having gloves on. Of course, the cabbage white butterfly is just waiting for me to turn my back for a split second so it can lay eggs. After my tea break, I think I'm going to get those wires on that woodwork so that we can put in the butter beans. First, maybe I ought to go and check and see how much soil we've got left in case I need to order more supplies. Oh, yes. And on the way by, I may have actually picked up this lovely wisteria in the supermarket. Oh. That's not good. We have 1 plank of wood left. And seemingly no topsoil. And this is what's left of the bio bloom. Not a lot of anything left. All right there, Bonbon? You trying to get her to play with you, are you? Yeah, she's not having any of it. She's trying to get me to protect her. I'm going to plant the butter beans on this framework. I've been using the small greenhouse as a cold frame, basically. Windows open, door open. There's a hole in the roof anyway. But here are the butter beans. Butter beans are basically runner beans that you don't eat as pods, you just let them turn to seed. So I'm going to put some of them down here. Are they to your liking? Okay, job done. This variety is called Cesar. They just need a good water and then we'll get the wires put up later. Time for that cup of tea that's probably gone cold now. Cheers. Now then, one of the first jobs this morning is to tackle this pot. Doug's strumming around the beds at the minute, and the neighbour across the way there is mowing their lawn. So I apologise for the lack of peace. I'm going to pack them in because I like to see a nice full pot. And then we've got some Osteospermum amalia. They're already covered in lovely buds as well, so it won't be long before they're flowering. Right, let's get some petunias and lobelia in. I love these speckled purple ones, they're super. I can get another lobelia in the middle, I think. Get the soil off the leaves. And job's a good one. While we're out of wood, I put Doug to good use this morning and I got him to plant a few more potatoes for me. So we now have some main crop Vivali, more Swift earlies and some Picasso main crop. I still have other buckets and more seed potatoes, but not enough compost. Right, I have just finished potting on some more tomatoes, all of which are looking really rough at the minute. And I'm not sure whether it's my neglect or the soil. The cucumbers have gone a horrible yellowy colour as well. And a quick Google tells me that they're lacking magnesium. I need to give them some Alka-Seltzer. If you're using peat-free compost and your plants are going yellow, let me know in the comments. I have just given them all a little bit of Tomatorite in the vain hope that that might boost them. Morning everyone, it's a glorious Sunday morning and I've just got to decide what I'm going to do with the day. The garden is coming on leaps and bounds. We have actually been out and ordered some wood. That's getting delivered on Tuesday, so Doug's at a bit of hiatus now, so I'm going to have to find him something else to get on with, aren't I? Good morning, Bonnie. How are you today? You good? Good girl. Oh, look. The beetroot has come up. I only sowed it last weekend, so that I'm really pleased about that. Is it nice, Bonnie? Is there something smelly and nice in there? Oh, and also look, my first sweet pea is coming. That's good. This is a temporary measure to protect the red cabbages that we put in. My spring onions are up beautifully. The lettuces are doing really well. And even the celery seems to have greened up nicely. So my biggest dilemma has been what to put in this bed. Because now Doug's filled it up with soil, it's just waiting to be planted. So potentially I might get another green TP like the one we've got down that end for symmetry, because I love a bit of symmetry. Put one of the patty pan squashes on it and surround the rest with maybe lettuce and flowers. The asparagus is getting ridiculously tall now. In fact, this one, as you can see, is now reaching the top of the plastic frame. I need to come up with a better protection from the blackbirds. Maybe now it's bigger, they won't try and snap it off. It's getting to that point, isn't it, where everything needs doing at once as usual. And time is of the essence with a lot of things. Look at the blossoms. Aren't they stunning? Love this time of year when everything's bursting into life. Now then, we have suffered a couple of losses here of lettuces, which were indeed only a temporary fill anyway, but I'm going to replace it with a little row of Marvel of Four Seasons. Just a couple if I can. I can always thin them later, to be fair. Bonnie approves, so that's good. Should I risk putting in my dwarf beans? There's no frost forecast for, well, this foreseeable future. Yeah, let's do that. These are dwarf purple TP, and it says I can only get 2 in, but I'm going to put 3. And the 4th one I'll keep as a spare in case any of them keel over in shock. I have still yet to sow the coriander in here, so let's do that while I remember. I've actually just noticed that these seeds are really out of date, so I'm going to sow them anyway, but I'm going to sow more than I would have done normally. I think I mentioned when I was putting the carrots in that my reasoning for the herbs so close is to deter carrot fly. The smell of the herbs should distract them a little bit. I came into the greenhouse yesterday and I was wondering what on earth these were, and of course I hadn't put a label in it, despite my best intentions. I obviously moved it over there and thought I won't forget what it is. That night I went into the house and watched the So Chatty episode, and thankfully Claire from the Farmyard Garden showed us her birdhouse gourds.
Phew, thank you, Claire. I would never have remembered what they were otherwise. They've done really, really well. Way better than my squashes. So I need to transplant them. And this time I really will label them. They are starting to get their true leaves as well, so now is a great time. They're also coming out the bottom of the pot already. So they're obviously fast growing. I was warned that they romp away. So, oh goodness. Yeah, they've been in here a week. Let's get these babies sorted out before they get really tangled together. Given how big the roots already are, I think I'm just going to go up a size. I probably only need 1 or 2 of these. You can hear a funny droning noise. I think it sounds like somebody jet washing. I'm hoping that's still washing my car, but I doubt it. So I said I could hear a jet wash, and it is Doug. He's not washing my car, he's starting the patio apparently. He does not like to sit still. One of the other things I really need to transplant are these brassicas. I can't decide whether I'm really way behind on my spring sowing or well in advance of my autumn sowing. They're in the teeny tiny cell trays and I'm not a fan, I have to say. This size gives them a lot more sort of wriggle room. And I've also got some red pak choi, which are a summer variety that don't bolt as quickly as the white ones. I seem to have a little honeybee trapped in here. How are you? Are you having fun? Can you see that? It's just landed on my compost. I've deliberately left it loose so it's easier to get the roots in. They do have a nice little root system actually, considering how small of a cell it is. And I know that Charles Dowding likes to use these and even plants them straight into the garden from this size. Okay, that's that tray filled up. Well, that's quite a transformation, eh? I don't know how you get these black spots off, but I can't believe the difference in the colour of the slabs, to be honest. Okay, so our last job for today is to get the asparagus recovered. Now, obviously my cloches are not tall enough anymore. We do need to protect them from wind and probably birds. I think the birds may have given up on the tall ones, but there are still a few short ones. It's just a temporary fix to stop the birds a little bit at least. But that's not the end of the day, because of course now everything needs watering. I've probably got another hour of watering to do before I can go in and have a nice cup of tea.